And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to this solo episode because y'all are asking how I'm doing. And it's been so fun to get your messages and your emails. And people are giving me feedback that they love my podcast, but they really wish there was a solo episode where they could just hear me talk. So here we go. This is the first of hopefully many. I'm going to be giving you a little bit of updates about what's going on in my life. We're going to talk about things that are coming up. And of course, I will answer any questions that are coming in. So that being said, if you have a question, make sure you send it. Any of the emails that you get, if you reply, it comes straight to me. So feel free to reply to an email and ask a question or, send hi, give a comment, whatever you want. So today I want to talk about this coming week because there's a lot going on, and also I want to talk about the previous week. It's been so fun. So number one, you guys know I signed up for a course to be trained in weaving, specifically weaving the parochet for Beit Hamikdash. So this blows my mind that I'm even doing it because to me, this is something people do when they're like retired, It just didn't feel like it matched up to my age, my stage. I don't know. Something about the way I thought about it didn't fit. But when I looked at the details and when they were talking about it, the more they talked about it, how we're training a group of women who are going to be on call so that when there is a temple, when there is a Beit Hamikdash, we will be able to go and do it. We won't have to figure it out. We won't have to be told what to do. We'll just know. And I thought that was amazing. And part of my experience is that I pray for redemption and I am very committed to being part of redemption. So I'm like, I don't just want to watch from the sidelines. I want to be there. So I'm very excited about this. And the first class was last Wednesday, and it was so fun. I cannot explain to you. The entire first hour was so much information. We learned about what is a parochet, how you make the strings, what they have to be made of, weaving, and all of the history behind this woman who's been doing it for 20 years, and all of her findings. And everything that has to do with dyeing the wool and cleaning the wool and spinning the wool and all of the things. It was like, whoa, my brain was expanded with all the things I thought I knew and turns out are so much cooler than I thought. So my favorite thing, we got there, we had that first hour of learning and then we started doing and we had to do a bunch of things at the same time. So we, broke up into groups. I was on the loom. There is a gigantic loom that they built for us to learn on. And we're actually making one, but it's not for the Beit Hamikdash. It's practice. But we had to make all of the measurements. And I was very involved in that. So I feel very excited about it. And then we had to start taking the wool and sending it back and forth and making it from scratch. It was so fun. All of the teamwork, because it's so big, you have to use each other and going back and forth. It's really fun. Anyway, then there was the dyeing of the wool. And then I wasn't as involved in the dyeing. I didn't really like the whole process. And there was someone there who really took charge, and I was very happy she did. I'm not really into dyeing. Also, I was all excited that we're dyeing it like for real with real tcheles, real argaman, real talachani. Turns out that would be not only extremely expensive, but also really hard to do because you don't get that much dye from each one of these creatures. So we would need like an epidemic of creatures to suddenly have enough dye to create this size parochet. And so it's okay. we used the synthetic coloring. And so, I don't know, something inside me just like turned off as soon as we did that. Like, I don't need to practice that because hopefully we'll do it for real. So I was helpful there, but I wasn't like really into it. Then, get this. She brought that wheel with the pedal that helps you string the strings. Like, sort of you take everything in the Beit Hamikdash, also the clothes of the Kohanim, the priests, and everything that has to do with it is always 6 strings sort of spun together, okay? Because it has to be strong. There's something about 6 is great. So we got to spin the strings with this machine. It's the circle with a pedal, and it's really cool how it works because you pedal and the spinny thing starts to spin, and this spinny thing starts to make a ball, and you're slowly making a ball of yarn. Like, you are exactly doing that. And I watched other people and I helped them out a little bit with like, oh, it's getting caught over here. You're making it too tight. You're making it too loose, whatever. And I was watching everybody do it. And then when I asked for a turn, I had so much fun. I got into such a meditative, like, I don't know. I asked someone to take a video, and if you were following me on my Instagram or on my WhatsApp status, I posted it there because it was just so much fun. I was feeding it and moving it and just pedaling. I couldn't stop. And it wasn't getting caught for me, by the way. I was very proud of myself that it wasn't jamming and nothing bad happened when I was doing it. It was very exciting. So if I had to say what my favorite part of the whole week was, that was it. The moment I got to spin the wool. I can't describe the amount of happiness I got from that. So that was that. We could talk all day about this, but there's more to talk about. I'm also part of a challenge. I paid to be part of this premium group, and we get a challenge into our phone on WhatsApp every single day. And the challenge is very small, but it's moving us forward in the right direction. And it's really like, reprogramming the subconscious and asking questions and really meeting our emotions where they are and dancing with the fear and all the cool stuff. Really, I love this thing. When you guys get to work with me, you understand why I'm so excited about it, because I do it on myself and it works. So anyway, one of the challenges from 2 days ago was to write a letter to fear using your left hand. And you know how there's like a thing when you write by hand and not type, there's like a brain-hand connection and it flows better. And they tell you to try to like not take shortcuts and not try to cut through, because there's something really powerful about writing by hand. So the same thing just with the left hand. The left hand has a much more direct access to your subconscious, or the non-dominant hand, if you're not a righty, is more directly smoother access to the subconscious. And we're writing and, we're following her challenge. She gave us like word for word or like fill in the blanks, pretty much what to write. And I didn't have a desk. I was waiting for my daughter because she was having therapy. So I'm sitting there in the waiting room doing the homework sort of like on my lap and using my left hand. And I didn't realize how tight my body was trying to make it perfect, because it's really hard to write with your non-dominant hand. If you practice, it gets better and better. And I've definitely gotten better because I'm doing this for a while. But it is something that I never did for so long, like a full 2-page thing with my left hand without a table. It was tight. Anyway, I didn't realize, but the next day, my entire shoulder is super tight. I'm like trying to move it, trying to stretch it. I'm not sure what's going on, but apparently if you push yourself like that, you end up hurting yourself. So when did I find out? Because I went to do, I didn't have time to finish 3. I only did the 2. And so I did the third one the next day. And the next day, when I sat down to do the third one, I started writing with my left hand and I realized that is exactly where the pain is. Oh, okay. So that's where it's from. I'm very good at being detective. And I'm really grateful that it's getting better and and it's not like this permanent thing. It's just a little bit of a tightness in my shoulder and I'm trying to move it and sort of shake it out. Also, once I realized where it was from, it's not so scary. It's fine. It's going to be okay. So that's just a little bit of backstory since you guys are so interested. Okay, next thing is, what podcast am I listening to? I am listening to The Lazy Genius, which I've been following for a while, and I don't listen to all of her podcast episodes, but when I am trying to clean or cook or do something that I want to distract myself from, I mean, do focus better while doing. That's what I mean. Yes, of course. When I'm trying to focus better, I turn a podcast on. So I have a bunch of podcasts that I look at and then decide if they're what I want to listen to. But this week, the Lazy Genius was talking about what to do in a season of busyness. And she gave an amazing 7-category list and explained it and gave homework to actually take that list, cut it out into papers, and then organize it as from most established to least established in your life. And what was really fun was that my daughter and I did it together, because after I listened, I was like, hey, look, what do you think is more established? Our food system or our dirt system, like cleaning? And what do you think is more established? Clothing or whatever. Anyway, it was so interesting to see that I think my house is a big mess and I am out of control and we don't have food put together and I can't get my act together, and all the stories I'm telling myself in my head. And my daughter, who lives here, says, oh no, our food is totally under control. We have such a good system for that. And, we're pretty good with dirt. We're not as good with mess. Our house is clean, but it's just cluttered and messy because of the fact that there is a lot of children and there's a lot of things and there's, natural home. But she was so nice to me. Not realizing, because she was really being honest. She said the things that she thinks aren't working, but I was beating myself up for something that obviously was less of a deal in reality than in my head. So I think I am very, very grateful for that podcast, especially that episode. And I'm very grateful that God gave me that opportunity to have that conversation with my daughter and to sort of like lower the stress, lower the intensity of the thoughts I'm having about me and my life. So that's very helpful. Also, I am part of the Ultimate Chanukah Party, which is the 3rd year it's happening. It's going to doors open to sign up on Sunday, but I'm giving you a heads up because you better do it and you better sign up as soon as possible. Also, I am an affiliate because I believe in it so much, and I'm probably a lifetime member of this thing by now because I was there on the 1st year, on the 2nd year, and now in the 3rd year, and I am very, very big supporter of what's going on there. Why? Because as overwhelming as it is to have 70 contributors all in one place, giving freebies, trying to get your attention, getting you on their email list, there's a lot going on. This is one of those places that can save your life. If you go in there with, it's not physical, it's a digital thing, okay? Because my husband's like, it's not a party, but it is. It feels like a party. If you go in there into this world that they have created with this intention of, I am going in fully connected to my intuition, fully welcoming what I need to hear right now, and everything else I'm okay ignoring, you are going to get so much out of it. And it will shift things in your life very, very quickly because you're trusting that you know how to make decisions, how to cut through the noise, how to really feel into your body and listen to your desires of what is speaking with you right now. So I highly recommend you sign up, and I will put my link below because I'm an affiliate. And if you sign up, then yay, I get credit for that. So I'm just very excited. But also, I want you to sign up so that you can be part of the conversations, rub shoulders with the people that might meet you or you meet them along the way. And I have one more thing to say about digital things versus in-person things. I know in-person things are so much fun, especially for people like me who are people, people persons. But you don't get out of your house. You don't have to drop everything. You don't have to pause your life to go to some expo or some conference. You can just get on your computer, sign up, then check your email eventually, find out what's next, what's going on. This is fun. And it's like a couple of days long, then it's gone. And you got what you needed to get out of it. So 1, trust yourself. 2, trust God that He is going to put in your path the things that you need to hear and the people that you need to meet. Okay? This year, they're adding live things and panels and all sorts of really great bonuses that I highly recommend. I was at first like, I don't know, like, why would anybody want to come to a live thing? But then I signed up to be one of the presenters. Why? Because I know that sometimes, even if I don't plan on it, I suddenly have time to listen to a presentation, or I suddenly get the email saying, we're starting in 10 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, that would be cool. Why don't I put it in my ears and start doing something, cleaning the kitchen, going through clothes, whatever. There's plenty of things to do here. And when I let myself go with the flow and sort of like feel into my body, yes, I want this. No, I don't want this. I end up gaining a ton. And like I said about this podcast with the Lazy Genius, totally something that I felt I needed to click. I clicked it, and it gave me a mindset switch. It actually helped me categorize my life in 7 categories and then prioritize them and make it clear what I need to focus on next. It was just great. And it helped me feel really good about myself because it started a conversation that I would not have had otherwise. So that's all to say, go sign up. The next thing I want to talk to you about is our Monday Zoom. We are creating a free Zoom call on Monday. When I say we, I'm talking about Leah Cohn from my Emunah coach and me. So let me give you a little bit of the backstory. I met Leah Cohn in a conference, a business conference, 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Whatever. It was about 2 weeks ago. And we hit it off. She's cute. She says, Emunah coach. And I was like, yay. Emunah, by the way, is exclusive faith in God. So I like that. I signed up to be her friend. I don't know if you actually do that, but I got her number. She got my number. It was a really easy click, very easy click. And then we went on. She went to talk to her people. I went to talk to more people. And eventually, at some point in the conference, I went to the bathroom. And when I came back out, I saw her having a conversation with someone else. And she turned to me and said, you know what I want? I want to go beyond the wall. I am sick of just speaking to a wall, praying to a wall. I know there's something that's supposed to be on the other side of that, and I want to go beyond the wall. And I said to her, so what's the problem? And with the things that she said and the expressions that she used, I realized very, very quickly that she did not know a lot about Habayit, the Temple Mount. She did not know the current situation on the Temple Mount. Things she said were, we're not allowed to go because the police stops us, and we're not allowed to pray because then they could arrest you if you move your mouth, and all sorts of things like that. And I just look at her like, you're 20 years behind, girl. It's changed so much that I had to reintroduce the entire subject. And I walked her through how to go to mikveh, a ritual bath, and prepare for going up to the Temple Mount. And then we ascended together, and it was really beautiful. It was really funny also because she didn't know she wasn't supposed to wear leather shoes. And then we get there. Then I called her in the morning, said, by the way, no leather shoes. And she said, what? I'm wearing leather shoes. So she found Crocs at the entrance and she borrowed them, which, by the way, is very normal. That's why they're there. And it was the rainiest day. And when we got there, the rain stopped. And it was sunny and beautiful the entire time we were on the mountain. And then it started raining again when we got off. And it felt so magical in like the real magic type of way, not in the fairy tale type of way. It just felt like there were clouds of glory over us when we were there. It felt very timely. We both walked out of that experience vibrating. There was something that happened by both of us being there and praying together that was very powerful. And I've been going for 8 years, pretty much on average once a month. And I don't think I ever felt this way before, which is, by the way, something I talk about a lot. You don't have to feel every time, whatever. It's a relationship. And this was special. And when we got off, she said, we have to do this with more women. And I said, no, we need to first educate because just like you didn't know, a lot of people don't know. And I want to make this very clear. I am not an advocate of everyone should go up to the Temple Mount and throw your brain behind and, have fights with your husband and not care about what your rabbi says or whatever. I do not believe that. And I want to make that super clear. That is not my intention. And I do not care if people do not go up to the Temple Mount. I understand it because I myself was not going while my husband was going. And the fact that he was okay with me not going and believed and trusted that one day I will go when I am ready. And also, a lot of people are waiting for permission to go from whatever. That's all fine. My goal is not to push you to go. My goal is to start the conversation because there is obviously something going on. The redemption is happening. Things are moving forward. There are crazy people in the world who are going and learning how to weave and are looking at how to make olive oil that is pure and are working towards figuring out the breads of the temple and sewing clothing for the priests and the Kohanim. There are women who are working as embroiderers for these types of things, for everything that has to do with the clothing of the Kohanim, with the different parts of the Beit Hamikdash. A lot of people. And you would think it's like one crazy person per city. No, it's not. It's becoming a real movement. And it's because God is calling us to wake up and be like, yo, people, you forgot the goal. You are so wrapped up in what you think is ideal reality, which is, let me just stay in this world the way this is with not changing anything. And as long as everything stays the same, I'm good. And then they shake you up a little and you're like, oh, no, it's not supposed to shake up. Let's try to go backwards, right? Like people after the war were like, let's just go back to our routines. Let's just go back into reality. And I was like, no, let's move forward. We are being shaken up for a reason. So here we are being shaken up for a reason. And instead of fighting it and being all anti, like I do this when I'm taking my two hands and I'm like banging them together. You are fighting reality, okay? If you don't see that we are working and moving in the right direction, then you are missing the evidence that God is throwing in your face. And so I want you to come ready. I want you to be prepared. I want you to know and learn and understand what the concepts are, what is actually going on, what it looks like, where you walk and where you don't walk. Because also I want to tell you something. There was a very sweet girl who grew up religious and then went a little bit off, got married to a nice Jewish guy. Everything's fine. And I saw them going in the old city, and they said they were going up to the Temple Mount, and they had an appointment for a tour. Now, they had signed up with a non-Jewish tour to go up to Habayit because they were under the impression that Jews weren't going to be allowed to go. So if they could pretend they're not Jewish, then they can go up and actually see it and, experience it. What they didn't know is that, A, they needed to go to mikveh. They didn't know that. And if someone would have told them, they would have done it because they knew enough to want to do the right thing. But they did not know. And they also, because they went with a group that wasn't Jewish, were going into places that they weren't allowed. Again, just lack of knowledge and lack of understanding. What if we can start the conversation about what the real laws are, what it is, where we are allowed to go, where we're not allowed to go, what we know, what we don't know, and start to be completely honest with what is going on in reality. Then instead of fighting reality, we will be bringing it closer because we won't be in resistance. Okay? So all that to say that we decided that we are going to go up on the Temple Mount with the women who want to join on the third day of Hanukkah, which is a Wednesday. But in order to prepare properly and to actually answer all your questions and to explain what's going on, we're doing a Zoom on Monday night, and I want you to be there. So go to connectedforreal.com/BH. That's Beit Hamikdash. You get it. Okay? Connectedforreal.com/BH. All the links are going to be below. Sign up. Come to the Zoom. If you sign up and can't come to the Zoom, you will get the recording. We're going to talk about it. We're going to show pictures. We're going to show maps. We're going to actually answer any questions. And we're not afraid of you asking questions. What if? What if not? It's all chill. It's all good. I am not here to try and force something into you. I am here to start a conversation. Just as a side note, there's a lot of people who tell me that before they became religious, they went up to the Temple Mount and to the places where they're not allowed. And they felt really bad about it. And there's a little bit of this, shame, I don't want to talk about it because I did such a terrible thing or whatever. I think that instead of living with that shame, or instead of trying to push it off and say, because I did it, I did something I wasn't supposed to do, and it's because I didn't know and I wasn't whatever. How about now you find out, learn, and do it properly? And that is the actual way to repent. It's the actual way of showing God, oh, when I was younger, I did it this way, but it wasn't because I didn't want to do it right. It's because I didn't know. But now that I know, here I am showing up properly, prepared. I went to mikveh. I am here to pray. I am here to show honor. I'm here to be in awe of your presence. It's so beautiful. And when I said this to one of the ladies who asked this question, it made me realize how much of a closure you can create for yourself when instead of fighting it, you can embrace it and sort of come full circle. So I recommend you come on Monday. You can definitely ask your husband, your rabbi, what they think about it, and then come with their responses and be like, this is what I got. This is what I'm being told. What's going on? Why the difference between what they're saying and you're saying? I also want to just tell you a really cute side note that one of my clients, who's very, very, very religious and lives in America and is just yum, delicious. I love her so much. She was sure that her husband is going to say that we don't do this and it's not allowed and blah, blah, blah. And when she approached him and just was like, by the way, this thing came up and I just wanted to know what do you think about this? And he said, what do you mean it's allowed? If you know how to do it and you know how to do it right and you know where to go, what's the problem? And she just stood there like, really? So that is a great illustration of how we women assume a lot And we collect information and bottle it up in ourselves, thinking that we know and we've decided and it's just how it is and that's it. Meanwhile, men are a lot more open to learning and honest about certain things. Just like, yeah, we just don't do it because we don't know. But if I looked into it and I knew, then yeah. And that's, that's a good way of closing that topic. Don't be afraid. Nothing's going to bite you. Okay, so we talked about the Ultimate Chanukah Party. You are going to see the link below, but you're not going to be able to sign up until Sunday morning. So put a timer on your phone with the link. Sign up. You're going to love it. And also sign up to the Monday Zoom about Habayit. We are going to really, it's going to be amazing. connectedforreal.com/BH. And that's it. Those are the main things. I think I gave it all to you. I hope you enjoyed this solo episode. Please give me feedback and let me know if you like it, didn't like it, want more, want less. Yeah. That's all I want to know. I love you all. And don't forget to be connected for real.